Hello and welcome to Sport Tonight. I'm Cecilia Among, right here in Lagos. Austin, you ready?
I'm super ready. Sporty greetings to you wherever you are in the world watching us in London. I'm Austin Okonakpan, Cecilia.
Finally! Yes, he's out.
What a story. The Nigerian Football Federation and Coach Eric Shell, they have put out the squad that will represent Nigeria at the 2025 Africa Cup of Nations. And Cecilia, there are interesting new entrants in that list. Interesting times.
Yes, tell me about it. I mean, there's so many interesting names, some names that we don't even know about. So we've been trying to, it came out like about 5 or 10 minutes ago when we're preparing for the show. So we'll not be able to give you all the slides tonight. Hopefully tomorrow night you have all the slides. But we'll break it down for you. The players that have been invited for the 2025 Africa Cup of Nations for the Super Eagles 28-man list. And of course, surprise, surprise, Francis Uzoho is back and Maduka Okoye is not on the list. And of course, on Tuesday, we reported right here that who is a doubt for the tournament happens to be who? Well, you know, our #1 goalkeeper, Stanley Nwabali, he is injured. I mean, he's expected to go through hand surgery. He also had ankle injury, that's according to his coach in Chupa United. And now he's the #1. Amos Obasuke is there. And of course, Francis Uzoho is making a return to the Super Eagles squad. We'll break down that for you on the show tonight. And of course, talk about NWFL. 5 away victories recorded on match day 3. How great is that when it comes to Nigerian Women's Football League? 5 away victories. Bayelsa Queens happens to be, well, the biggest of it all. 5-name victory over Nigeria Turtles right there in Abuja. Edo Queens, Nasarawa Amazons, Rivers, Angels, all of them winning away from home. And of course, Ramo Stars also joined those teams winning away from home. We'll break it down for you on the show tonight. And of course, yes, NPFL, the game that was played earlier today, rescheduled game, Rivers United beating Plateau United away from home. I mean, Rivers winning away from home, 2-1, that game ended. Yes, we'll tell you about that on the show. And of course, more teams are bringing out their list. And Super Eagles are the latest to bring that up because earlier today, you had Tunisia coming up with their own list. And of course, host nation Morocco coming out with their own list, 27. And surprise, surprise, Diop is not part of that list. But Ashraf Hakimi, who is injured, but the coach said he will be fit. He says he will be fit for the game. Their first game against Comoros, he is in the squad. We'll tell you more about that. And the latest FIFA ranking when it comes to women is also out. We'll tell you about that. Super Falcons, well, they're still #1 in Africa. And if you look at the gap between the first and the second, it's still very wide. That's why sometimes when South Africa, Morocco, and Ghana want to rub shoulders with Nigeria, I'm wondering, what they're trying to do, so they're just a class above the rest. We'll show you that on the show tonight. Yes, it's a loaded package. And of course, the UEFA Champions League, the only team that is unbeaten in the UEFA Champions League happens to be, of course, the team that is also topping the league in the Premier League. Arsenal, 6-6. That's what they've had so far. Winning an away match, you know how difficult that can be. And Noni Madueke, that's the boy right now on the lips of every Arsenal fan because of what? His magical performance in the game last night. We'll be talking about Arsenal, Manchester City, and of course, Real Madrid coach who is on the fire, Xabi Alonso. So much to talk about on the show tonight. Okay, I've been talking so much. Right here in the studio, we've got, well, Bolo money here. I mean, when you walked into the studio, it was all about, at least it's finally out.
I think I chose the right time to come in today, and obviously there will be loads of conversations around the Super Eagles list. There were some rumors, some cha-cha-cha, like they say in the local parlance. Now we've seen it. There will be criticisms without any doubt. But in the end, like they'll tell you, the end justifies the means. If he ends up winning the AFCON, definitely go get the praise. But if it doesn't work out like that, God help Eric Chow. Good to be again on this beautiful Thursday evening.
Okay, so Austin, yes, the Super Eagles list is out. We've been waiting for it. Finally, we're having it. We thought it was going to be out on Tuesday, and it didn't come out. We're like, okay, today's the deadline. We know they would have submitted the list to CAF before now. But then, you know, Nigerians, they'll be like, are they going to miss the deadline? But then we know what the Nigerian Football Federation, what they can do, especially when the press releases were coming. I mean, with the one we saw last night in the evening, I thought it was the Eagles when I saw communications coming from the department. Okay, was the launching of the talent development program, one of those programs. They launched the boys about 2 years ago. That of the girls was launched just yesterday. I thought that was the list. And of course, earlier today, communique coming out of some, like, what's going on? When is the list going to be out? And of course, a moment ago, we saw that.
It was a lot of a lot of drama, you know, and we talked about it from the moment we saw the 54-man provisional list, and then people started asking questions, and I want to add to the questions before I get Bolu talking. So what was that 54-man list for? What was all of that? You see what I'm saying? Now we have 28 names. I really do not care about the players that he put in there. It's up to the fans to start saying who is missing, who is there now that you think is good, you know, and all of that. But I was trying to tell Eric Shell, be in control of your team, be in charge of your team. You've been handling this team for close to a year now. You should be able to come out off your head, boom, 28 men that I've already seen. They are going with me to the AFCON, you know, and start getting ready. Mentally, the moment you announce that list, you know, everyone starts expecting your team, you know, to get prepared. But it is what it is. Well, I like some names that I see in there. First thing first, the defenders, Igor. He plays his football with Slavia Prague in Czech Republic. Why do I like him? He's solid, proper African, passed through the league system in Nigeria. I pray he doesn't get injured. We saw him at the Unity Cup. He brings some solidity. He's so strong, you know, and he knows how to, you know, push out there to get the job done, you know. So I'm pretty, you know, excited about that one. Rala Lebio should bring some experience of English football into the team also. You know, he's young, he's versatile, and he can actually be useful. Bolo, I'll let you do the rest of the talking, but Pisa Akinsomiro is another name that people seem to be liking. What are the names that really got you talking?
Oh, I hope I have 3 days to talk about this so we can do all the fighting and end there by Saturday morning. The truth is, there were some rumors that there are in-house rancor on agreement on who and who should make the list. From then on, you know there will be a problem. The delay of the list, you know there will be more problem. I think there are some of the new names people are saying, who is this? Some are legit to be there. If you follow the area, if you see what Akinsomiro is doing with Pisa, you're okay. It's been coming. He will get the chance. For Ryan, the reason Ryan is there is simple. He's a right back. Olaino is missing out at the AFCON. He's replacing Olaino, obviously on the bench. You still expect Bright Osai to be the first choice. But there are some players on this list. For example, Usman Mohammed is here to play a single game for his club this season. So how did he get scouted to be a part of the team? Too many names there. He has not played for the
Ironi Tibaria.
He just joined them this summer. Yeah, he's here to play a single league game for them. He is part of the team. There's Tochukwu Nadi. How do you go to the second division in Belgium to pick a player from? We have another striker there who had just 4 goals this season. Talking about Salim Fago Lawal. Okay. How did we scout all these boys? We went all around the world to pick them. Again, the only thing I can see to this is maybe we are building for the future. All these new boys are 22, 21, and the likes.
Okay, well, I mean, one of our controlling news actually mentioned something to me, you know, while we were debating about the 54-man list. He says, look, sometimes it is actually good for you to use these guys to go there. We don't have to win at this time. You don't have to win. Then you build for the future, knowing that, you know, you start preparing for the next Nations Cup and also the next World Cup. I mean, it will be better if we get to the semi-finals that we don't have to win. That the problem we're having is when we see lists or when we're going for competition, the first thing is we need to win it. There's no other time you need to have that desire to, yes, you want to win. But sometimes we didn't go to the World Cup, so this is the time to actually build and prepare for the next. That was what he said, not my words, you know, the words coming from me. But then, it's 10 days to go to the Africa Cup of Nations. Yes, we said that earlier. So you look at our screen right here, so it tells you 10 days. So it's counting, and you know the Africa Cup of Nations will still, you know, be on in the next 10 days. December 21st, that's when it's starting, of course. January 18th, that's when it will end. So you're looking at it now, you know, it's 10 days to the Africa Cup of Nations, and of course, that means, wow, just 10 days we're going to be in Morocco. Now, we've been talking about the list, you know, trying to read it out. Maybe we'll have to do justice to it, right? Read out some of the names. Tomorrow we'll get a full slide of that. Stanley Wambali of Chippa United, goalkeeper. Amos Obazoge, goalkeeper, plays for Tanzania. And Francis Uzoho, Omonia in Cyprus. Why are you smiling? It goes to the defenders. The one that, Austin, you don't want to debate about the names because the coach get the headache, he get the big money. So the defenders, you have Calvin Bassey of Fulham, of course. I mean, you can't write him out. Shemiloge Ajayi, of course. Shemiloge Ajayi, he also part of the squad from Hull City in England. Bright Said Samuel, you have Bruno Eyemachi, you have Chidozie Awaziem of Nantes, Zaidu Sanusi of who plays for FC Porto, Igor Ogbu of Slava Praha, also mentioning he's a fantastic player. Ryan, we talked about him, Alebio soon, because he needs to be here because of Ola, Because in the midfield, go to the midfield, that's where you have Alex Iwobi of Fulham, you have Frank Oyenka of Brentford, Wilfred Ndidi of Besiktas, Rafael Yendika of Club Brugge, Tochukwu Nnamdi. That's a second division guy who plays for Wrengem in Belgium. I don't know why this guy is on this list. Fisai Odele Bashiru of Lazio in Italy. Ebenezer Akisomiro of Pisa in Italy, of course. He's been performing. We've seen him, how he's been performing so far. Then Usman Mohammed, who plays in Israel, Ironi Tibarias. That's where he plays. I don't know him, but I know some of you would know him.
He's here to play a game this season.
Okay, so okay. Austin, do you know him?
Of course, I know him, Cecilia. I think former youth international.
Okay.
If I can remember, maybe passed through Gombe United or Taraba United or Taraba FC back in the day. He's a strong guy
back
also.
In the day.
Not particularly.
Back in the day, how old is he?
I think he's about 31 or 32. You know, but. Cecilia, that's what I'm saying. He's a professional footballer and he's here now. And
no, because we talked about building for the future. That's what we talked about, right? Okay. So let's go to the forwards. Okay. Let's go to the forwards. Ademola Lookman, of course, Atalanta, Italy, deserve to be on this list. Samuel Chukwueze of Fulham, England. Victor Osimhen, of course, the big boy. Moses Simon of Paris FC in France. Chidera Ejuke of Sevilla in Spain, Akko Adams, Sevilla in Spain, Paul Onuachu, I love the fact that he's back into the mix, Trabzonspor right there in Turkey, Siris Dersa is also here, Panathinaikos in Greece, and of course Salim Fogolawa, who plays in Croatia. How many goals has he scored so far this season?
4.
I think 4, yeah, that's the goals he has scored. But bringing Fogolawa here, you already have Siris Dersa, Paul Onuachu, and you have Victor Osimhen, you have Ademola Lookman, Samuel Chukwueze, Moses Simon. Okay.
I thought I would maybe see Musa in the list. Since you are doing tourism, maybe I've met Musa. Musa is still the captain of Super Eagles, by the way. He has not announced his retirement, so he's still the captain.
Oh, really? Okay. I don't know that. I think, Austin, do you know?
Say that again.
It says Musa is still the captain of the Super Eagles. Do you know that?
Well, because he hasn't come out to say he's no more playing for the Super Eagles, so officially he's still a Super Eagles player. So I totally agree with Bolu, because if he's called up to the team tomorrow, he deserves, he can be given the captain's armband. So yes, he's still the captain of the team. Something has to be done as regards that. Okay. Maybe if they announce a new captain now, we need to say clearly that this is the new captain of the Super Eagles. Otherwise, it's going to be Ahmed Musa, because I think William Troost-Ekong was his deputy at the time, and because he was available, Troost-Ekong took over. So yeah, Ahmed Musa is still the captain of the team. Okay,
and we know camps opens tomorrow, right? That's this earlier said, but I don't know if there's a new date to that. But we know we're playing Egypt on the 16th. Tuesday next week on the 16th. So that'll be a friendly game, before they will fly from there to Fez, where they will have their the first 2 games, the battle in Group C. That's where it's going to be Fez in Morocco. So Super Eagles final list is out. So tomorrow, don't worry, we'll bring more of the breakdown for you. But we need to move away from Super Eagles list. I know if we stay on this, especially looking at some names that we are not familiar with, because Austin tried to tell us about the former youth international, who is 31, who hasn't played for the Super Eagles once, and is getting his first call-up to the national team, and he's in his 30s, right? 30s. Okay, we'll leave it there, and yes, let's talk about the teams that have actually unveiled their final squad. We have the list for you. The teams that have unveiled their finals. We have Morocco, the host nation, is there, joining them this evening. Tunisia, of course, one of Nigeria's opponents, Super Eagles' opponent, is also one of the teams that have released the final list. And of course, Comoros also is there. So let's just go through the list. We're starting off with host nation Morocco, followed by Tunisia, who is a Nigeria group. Equatorial Guinea, you have Zimbabwe also coming up with theirs. Gabon released theirs last night. Zambia also released theirs last night. Comoros, Tanzania, Cote d'Ivoire, and Burkina Faso completing this list. So we have more of it. Mozambique, of course, came up with theirs. Benin Republic, Angola. You have Egypt, DR Congo, and South Africa. South Africa were the first thing to actually release their team list. And for Uganda, they released about 30-man list for them. They're already in Morocco training. And of course, I'm sure maybe a few days to drop two more players because it's 28. That's what CAF is saying that they can actually come up with. So these are the teams that have come up with their finalists for the Africa Cup of Nations. Of course, Nigeria is also part of that list. Okay, now let's take a look at. There's two or more. I think there are 2 or more teams. I'm trying to remember. Almost all the lists are out, right? Mm-hmm. Is there any country we're missing out?
I know the ones in our group, all of them released even before now and everything. The truth is, even if they've not announced officially, you can't go beyond the deadline. So CAF would have at least had the list. Then you can now start settling yourself within your media and your nation. So we're not worried. Like you said, 10 days from now, we kick off with the opening match. Then we start feeling the buzz, then talking about if there's hope for Super Eagles or not. But let's see, it's almost here. 10 days is 21st, that's next week Sunday. Yeah. It looks far, but believe me, Sisi, it's not far.
After this is your phone.
I'm looking at it right in front of us.
It's so far, it's 10 days, right? So let's leave Africa Cup of Nations and, of course, talk about the top rankings when it comes to women's football. We're going to be looking at the top 10. And, of course, those teams that also are facing the top 10 and the top 5 in Africa. Talking about the FIFA ranking for women. Now, Nigeria, #1 in Africa, of course, maintaining that top spot. And the closest to Nigeria when it comes to FIFA ranking happens to be South Africa. It's 37, 55. Like, we're not in the same class, right? Ghana follows. You have Zambia. And, of course, Morocco always trying to rub shoulders. You know, that's the point right there when it comes to FIFA ranking. And this is the top 10 not changing. Some changes were made, but then Spain retaining theirs after winning Euros. Of course, you expect them to remain, in that spot. USA, Germany, England, Sweden, Brazil, France, Japan, North Korea, and Canada completing that top 10 in the FIFA women's ranking. About 206 games were played over the international window, but Nigeria was not part of it. And so Ghana played international. They played against England because lost to England 2-0. Let's bridge from the football. We'll go back to football later, but then let's talk about this one, the Ajegunle Marathon, which is going to hold December 13th. Yes, as a half marathon, the second edition of that Ajegunle City Youth Marathon started on Wednesday. That was yesterday with that 2.5-kilometer VIP race. That's what they call this one. And the race was flagged up by, of course, the Oba of that area, the Olu of Iwa, and Apapa Kingdom. Okay. And, of course, not just that, the VIP race is heralding the 10-kilometer youth marathon that will take place this Saturday. It's going to start from the Maracana Stadium in Ajegunle and terminate at the Army Signal Barracks in Mile 2. So that's a lot of race right there. This year's theme, Run to Path of Light and Say No to Drugs, will see over 500 youth from Ajegunle and its environs competing for honors. Let's listen to the organizers. What is different from the second edition of the Ajegunle City Marathon.
Young people will be on the streets raising tailored awareness against drug abuse and also promoting positive habits that we can achieve our potential, we can live our life healthy and drug-free and also achieve all our careers in life. And that's what we are projecting. And of course, winners will also be receiving awesome prizes. So the race is actually starting from the Maracana Stadium, Maracana Pavilion, and then it takes through different community as different routes in the community, and then we terminate at the Nigerian Army Signals Barracks Playground at Mile 2.
The motivation is that, as you know, Ajegunle is the bedrock of sports in Nigeria, not only in Lagos State. And as the royal father of this kingdom, I deem it feel that I must encourage the youth of Ajegunle because we are known for sports. And definitely, I myself, as a sports person, a retired Premier League referee, a retired Premier League assessor, and the immediate past Secretary General of the Nigerian Football Referee Association. So I must, so you can see it's a round peg in a round hole. That coming to be the royal father of this kingdom is not a child's play. That is why you see me that I'm always interested in sports in order to encourage the youth in Ajegunle, to carry the youth along, to bring them from the streets, to let them know that in sports you can make a lot of fortune.
We are emulating Lagos State because I believe this is the first local government that is having its own personal marathon in its local government. So it's a great achievement and it's a great one, and we are here. You can see the KBAC here standing. We are here to encourage them in putting more effort to make it a more global program. My word of advice is for Ajegunle youth to turn out en masse and join the marathon, because we're looking forward to having an Ajegunle person participating in the World Marathon Race very soon. So my advice is for them to continue to put in more effort, continue to try, despite we've not had Nigerian representing long distance race, but we want to make history. We want one to come out from Ajegunle.
All right, let's get back into the business of fixtures and results from leagues across the globe, starting from Nigeria. After this time. So we're starting off with the Nigeria Women's Football League Premiership. Some of the games that were decided earlier today, and of course the games played across the country on Wednesday evening. Some games, Niger Rotors and Bayelsa Queens were supposed to have been played on Wednesday, but it was moved to this morning. But let's take a look at the games that were played across the country on Wednesday. We'll start off with Group A, Adamawa Queens and Ibom Angels. Ibom Angels lost by a lone goal. Ekiti Queens and Edo Queens, Ekiti winning away from. We'll talk about Ekiti Queens much later because they'll be fined for abuse of officials and, of course, banned for 3 games. Peseta Queens and Rivers Angels. Rivers Angels beat Peseta Queens 2-1 right there in Ibadan. Niger Hotels and Bayelsa Queens as the biggest result on match day 3. I was 5-0 in Abuja. FC Robo Queens won at home against Delta Queens. Confluence Queens and Remo Stars. Remo Stars winning away from home 2-0. Abia Angels and Heartland Abia Angels winning 2-0. Of course, Aduyem Name Queens and Nasarawa Amazon. Nasarawa Amazon, of course, also winning away from home. And Sunshine Queens and Danas Ladies. This ended 2-0. This was played this evening. So these are the results for you. So let's take a look at the one that was in Lagos. Start off with that one, talking about FC Robo Queens and, of course, the Delta Queens. When we were talking about it, Austin, on Thursday, we mentioned that that's the game we need to look forward to because of the way FC Robo started the season, if they are going to have a little bomb. But it didn't happen because they were clinical, in front of goal. After a goalless first half, in the second half, 50th minute and 58th minute, they scored 2 goals, and that sealed it up for the Lagos girls. Austin?
Shown the sort of bite that you expect from a team that wants to prove a point this season. They were really close last season, and we said it that the first 2 matches, the sort of intent that they showed, really got us talking. And with Delta Queens, it doesn't come any bigger than that for a test. And look at that for a goal. Look at that for a finish, Cecilia. So shout out to FC Robo Queens. We know them. The top women's football, team in Nigeria. They have produced a lot of superstars back in the day. So I wasn't really surprised about this result, but give Delta Queens their respect. But hey, at this stage, the team that really wants it will get it. So that's a beautiful, big win for FC Robo Queens. Another result that really got me talking, I talked about it, that Remo Stars ladies can get into the conversation with the win over Confluence Queens, and they did just that. But shout out to the teams that went away. It's really encouraging because this is what we celebrate Bolu, when we have teams that go away and then they show the sort of quality that we need to see, and they go on to win. We saw that Edo Queens going to Ekiti Queens to win by a single goal, but it didn't end so well. We saw fans' violence right there at the Kayode Oluyemi Stadium, which is not good for our football. But since that Bolu, I'm sure there are other interesting results that got you talking. Rivers Angels also got an away win.
Well, my away queens are the ones that wanted to cause trouble in Ekiti. But I like the fact that we got about 5 away wins in this game. The funny thing is, in Group B, Whoever scores first win 2-0. All the matches in Group B were 2-0, 2-0, everything. So just make sure you score first. That was the Jazz for that game. But interesting results there. I'm happy for Remo Stars. They've had a good start. They've not considered a single goal so far in these competitions. We always say that Remo start well. But at the end of the day, they find ways. But this time, 4 wins. Hopefully, they continue like this. I have a soft spot for them, maybe because they're a Lagos-based team and all. They've been there, one of the traditional teams we have. Rivers Angels, there's no surprise there. Going to Pesetas to pick up a win away from home. There's not a single surprise in that one. But we know how the women game goes. Try as much as you can to make it into the final playoff. It's from then on you can fight for maybe winning the title. We know at the end of the day, you can almost predictably at least 3 of the teams that will make it to the final playoff. But the rest, surprises have happened. We've seen Remo Stars ladies. Yeah, you can call Bayelsa Queens, you call Edo Queens, to an extent, Robo as well. But we still have stars in our team. Some of the results are predicted. For example, Nassau Amazon, despite all the journey, they still picked up an away win. This is what we like in football. We talk about the men that an away win is a great celebration because we don't see it all the time. But in the women's game, either home or away, every weekend or every match day, you will always count 1, 2, 3 away matches. And that's what football is all about.
And the way Space Setters actually celebrated when they equalized, it was 1-1, thinking that this is it for them. And then Rivers Angels had to tell them that, look, it's not yet over until it's over. And then when they scored the other goal that got them into the mix, and it ended 2-1 for Rivers Angels. So just look at that howler there, coming from the goalkeeper, and then he couldn't hold on to. And Rivers Angels have to, experience tells when it comes to games like this. And you mentioned Remo Stars, them going away from home to Kogi to beat Confluence Queens by 2-0. So many interesting games. But let's take a listen to the coach of FC Robo Queens and also the coach of Delta Queens, Samson Keshi, and Emmanuel Osaon talking about the games, what they intend to do this season, especially for FC Robo Queens. The only team that haven't dropped a point so far after 3 matches. So it's 3 out of 3 on 9 points. That's why they're right there at the top above everyone. Let's listen to them.
Well, one, at least in the first half we just lost, but I just thank God after talking to them that they can do it. They came back, and our team is haunted by injury right now. The first match we played against Sunshine, most of them were injured, and I didn't register much player because of the constraints that you can't use more than 5 underage, and which is good for me. So I need to just try as much as possible to manage my crisis. But I thank God that they came back in the second half and they won. I'm so excited. I don't plan or pray to play draw at home. It's good, but consistency is the watchword. I'm training kids. I will not lie to you. We'll manage our crisis, we'll manage our glory, we'll manage our laurel, we'll keep managing it till we'll get to where we are going.
Honestly, I lack words to define what really happens. Because I actually prepared for this match. And you can see for yourself the first half. It ended on, let me say, in the draw. I prepared for this match. Honestly, I just lack words to express myself right now. But you know what football is. Second half, it doesn't help my team. Honestly. I always don't want to complain about referee. You understand what I'm saying? But sometimes when the match is going on so well and this a must-win at-home match is what is killing Nigerians. You understand what I'm saying? So the referee, there are some hitches, but then I think my team did not do well in the second half. Why I was complaining to the 4th official, that goal was an overball, not a corner kick. You understand? But you know what it is, like I told you about referee. He wants to give home advantage, and he gave. And my guys relaxed, and they conceded that goal. They said you learn from your mistakes. You understand what I'm saying? I'm going to play at home now, probably before the break, the Christmas break. So I'm going to do some things that I felt has defiled my winning of this match. So I'm going to do from what I learned today. Like I told you, the league is still new, to be frank. And you can see for yourselves that some of these girls, I don't know them. I'm just trying to put them pieces together. But I know my second, my 3rd or 4th match at home, I think I'll come out positive. 3 games so far, 1 point, instead of 9 points. But that is football, like I told you. I'm going home, and I'm going to build on my strategies to start winning my game.
Samson Keshi actually needs a serious strategy because out of 9, you're picking up just 1 point. and then coming to Lagos, it wasn't a good one for him at all.
At all, it wasn't, you know. And you could feel he's disappointed, you know. And I also didn't like that I had to mention officiating in there also. So he needs to find a way to, you know, pump some positivity into his team. I think there's still a big side. It's still early days, but it's also important to start getting those points, Cecilia.
Yeah, it's actually necessary. And then the one that we don't like talking about, which is Ekiti Queens, they've been sanctioned 2.5 million naira. That's what they would pay for failing to actually control the fans. There was assault on referees, match officials, which is not acceptable according to the Nigerian Women's Football League board. So they were sanctioned 2.5 million naira, and also they will play the next 3 games away from Ado Ekiti. They will now be playing at the MKO Abeokuta Stadium. That's where they will be playing their next 3 games because of that. And what reason? Because of the assault on match officials during their game against Edo Queens, which they lost by a lone goal. And of course, after video evidence and reviewing of so many official reports, they said they failed to actually provide adequate security and failure to control supporters, and also allowing an unsafe environment that led to the attack on officials. This is what we don't want to see. This is what we don't want to talk about. But you don't have a choice than to talk about it when some people just decide to be, is it the word unfortunate? Right? Okay, we'll leave this there, and I'm happy that, you know, the sanction and of course the swiftness of the NWFL board, they're not wasting time at all. Just a swift one. Quickly, decision was made after reviewing every possible angle, and the sanction was quickly, you know, given to Ekiti Queens. I hope they will learn from this and also learn to control their crowd or their supporters. Okay, let's leave NWFL and quickly go to that rescheduled game we mentioned earlier, where Rivers United beating Plateau United by 2-1. That's how that game ended. And of course, for Rivers United, it was a rescheduled game. You know, when we saw where they were, you know, on the table, we felt okay, they're not doing so badly, because you know that some of those games they can actually win it. And then this one ended in favor of Rivers United, winning by 2-1.
They came from a goal down to win that one. Considering the first half numbers, then 2 goals in the second. In fact, the winning goal came in the 94th minute of the game. I've declared before, and I'll still say it again. I really want Finidi George and his Rivers United to win the league, because I have many people I want to call out. I never liked how he was treated as the coach of the Super Eagles. Many people literally said he had no idea about football, his brain is dead, he doesn't know anything about football. I'm like, this guy literally won a league with Eyimba. But, you know, talks out of maybe hatred or out of beef.
How many games was in charge of?
Just 2 games, and people made it look like he's the reason for the misfortune of the Super Eagles competition.
When some players decided not to play.
To come. And now he's joined top of the NPFL, and he still has a game in hand. And that game in hand will be at home. That's why last season it was Rivers United and Remo. Remo got it. This time I'm fully for the boys. It was an important win for them. I don't even think they're out of CAF Champions League, except something magical happened. They are not qualifying from that group. But see this NPFL, you know that local balance that we are here. I think they are going on the right track, and they may end up winning it at the end of the day. So good win for them. The fact that you could score a 94th minute winner away from home in the NPFL.
And they were losing by a long goal up until 56 minutes when David Sholude
so I think it was good enough for them. It's good for our football that away teams can win. You can score late goals. If this was maybe some 10 years ago, it could have caused chaos. The fact that it could have caused fans and everything. So I think I love what I saw. I love the win for Rivers United. Hopefully it continues like this for them. And you know, we say that sometimes the mindset, the mindset switch, oh, this is home, we can win. But on the continent, these guys are better than us. So these ones that you believe you can, go all out, and hopefully they win at the end of the season.
I mean, Austin, that David Sholumande, you know, late goals. You know, he scored the brace, the 2 goals, the earlier one, the 50-something minute before he scored that 94th minute equalizer that gave them that victory. You know, that's something really remarkable, especially happening in Jaws.
And you know, with that result, it tells you the mentality of this Rivers United team and the work which Finidi George is doing. And they need to keep this going because of their CAF Champions League quest, you know, because as a team, they need to keep getting better. Now, that was a very difficult game at the New Just Stadium, because Plateau United won their last match against Warri Wolves, and they would have been hoping to consolidate, because despite that win, they were still 17th, I think, 16th or 17th on the log. So if they are beating Rivers United today, that would have taken them off that zone. So it was a very difficult game. And for Rivers United to show the mentality away from home, you keep pushing, you keep going, to get it done. Don't forget, they went to Muaya, a difficult place, to play 1-1. They didn't lose. And now they are winning in Judge. Tells you, Coach, we need a Judge. And this team, they're just getting better match after match. Now they're second on the log, tied on 30 points with Nasarawa United. They're definitely onto something big, Cecilia.
Yeah, something big. I mean, something big second. And same numbers of goal difference, of course, same points. And, of course, they have a game in hand. That's remarkable. Now, let's go to Austin. Give us updates coming from Europa League. What's going on? Nottingham Forest. Yeah, they are doing what they know how to do best, right?
And they've already done that job, Cecilia. Easy peasy, done and dusted. Nottingham Forest went away to beat FC Utrecht by 2-1. So that's a very, very big result for them. But Rangers, the struggle continues for them because they lost to Ferencváros by 2-1. Let me just quickly get into some of the games that gave us goals. Ludogorets Razgrad and PAOK FC gave us a 6-goal thriller. That one ended 3-3. Stuttgart punished Maccabi at Tel Aviv. They won that one by 4-1. Just a quick, some of the live results. 37 minutes gone in that game between FC Basel and Aston Villa. It's 1-1. Let's see what will come out of that one. Brand, they have a red card and they are down by 2-0 against Fenerbahce. That match is also in its 37th minute. Let's see. The game between Panathinaikos and Victoria Plzeň is still goalless, but Victoria Plzeň, they already have a man down. So that one should definitely give us goals. Lyon 2, go ahead, Eagles 1. Some of the results that you can use, information that you can also use. 38 minutes in the game between FC Porto and Malmo. It's FC Porto 2, Malmo 0, Cecilia.
Interesting games from the Europa League right there going on across Europe. All right, let's go straight to what happened last night in the UEFA Champions League. 2 games of obviously is getting our attention. You know the reason why. We'll start off with the big one and then the match of the week, which was Real Madrid and Manchester City. You know why it's always like that? The rivalry started from Barcelona. Xabi Alonso, of course, Pep Guardiola. We know where that started from. But somehow, Real Madrid always have a way of, I don't know, is it pressing the start button or something? Because Rudiger had no business actually holding on to Haaland for a very, very long time. That we're screaming, when we're watching this, we're screaming, let him be. Like, I don't know, they were a goal up, and then you had to go do that and trust Haaland. He's been missing some penalties, but then he had to do the one, keeper moves first before you score, and they worked out for him. And they ended up losing 2-1.
It was an avoidable penalty for Rudiger. You thought he needed to take Haaland home. Pinned him down. Before then, there was one earlier that was ignored by the referee, and the VAR took. The ref didn't waste any time. Immediately checked once, he gave the penalty. But that was probably one of the few matches Real Madrid would lose, and many of their fans would not even criticize the team. You could feel the hunger. In fact, Real Madrid have about 5 fullbacks injured in that game, 2 centre-backs, but they still find Kylian Mbappe picked up a knock in the course of the week. They did well, they performed well, but in the end, football is just about winning. Both teams are now building somewhat a rivalry. They played 15 matches, 5 wins for each, 5 draws. In fact, City has scored 26 goals, Real Madrid has scored 25 against each other. They are building a more recent rivalry. That was the definition of the UEFA Champions League. You could say there were just 3 goals, but the performance on the night from both teams was superb. I was happy for Rodrigo, who finally got to score after 32 games without a single goal for Real Madrid. Got a goal on the 33rd game. Unfortunately, ended up in a loss for them, but beautiful game of football from both sides. But at the end of 90 minutes, it was Man City who picked up the victory.
Yeah, Austin, it's time to listen to Pep Guardiola. What's he talking about?
Yes, Pep Guardiola is super excited about that win. It was a magical night for his team. And, of course, he's hailing his team and hoping that they keep that form going. But, hey, he's saying we're far from winning the UEFA Champions League. Listen.
The level to arrive really semi-finals, finals require better performance than today. That's for sure. And we will work on it. So it's not enough. It's not enough to be there in the performance today. There are incredible many good things. Don't misunderstand me. I'm so pleased for the players and for the effort, for the soul and the heart and how they run. Listen, winning Bernabeu has to be so grateful to the players, and and happy, so I cannot deny it, how difficult. I've been here many times in these last 5 years. We played many battles against them, and we played much, much better than today, or much better than today, and we didn't win. So this is...
Can you do it? Can this team make that progress this season?
Yeah, definitely. You can. If no injuries, it will happen, yeah, for sure, 100%. We have the will to do it. The manager is so clever, so that's why we do it.
Yeah, that's Manchester City manager Pep Guardiola. Bolu, I'll just let you hold your thoughts. Let's listen to Mikel Arteta. Arsenal, they are the only team with a flawless record in the UEFA Champions League. And yesterday we witnessed the Noni Madueke show. And Gabriel Martinelli scored a wonder goal to become the first Arsenal player to score 5 goals in a row in the UEFA Champions League. Let's listen to Mikel Arteta.
Unbelievable. I mean, it's, when you talk about individual quality and individual action, a magic moment, that's it. You know, a player that is able to pick the ball that far, dribble past people, and finish with the quality and the power that he's done. The same as Martinelli as well. I think at this level, you want to win games, you need individual players to step out and to do something different. So very happy because now we have some players back in the front line, and you can tell how much better we are with them. Just maintaining the level. They both have different qualities as well. And it's great because we're going to need them. We are playing every 3 days, and players with that freshness and with that bite in the teeth as well, understanding that they have to perform at their level, and this is the standards that we set. It's something really good.
Yeah, that's it, Mikel Arteta. Bolu, red hot gunners. What are they cooking?
You can hate the club, you can dislike them, you can do whatever, but you cannot underrate or undermine what they've done so far in the Champions League. 70 goals scored, and they've considered just one. Yes, I tell people the UEFA Champions League, the group phase is a different competition from the knockout phase. 2 different things entirely. PSG were this close to elimination last season, but they ended up winning. But at least what we have now is Arsenal, the only team with 100% run. They don't even, in fact, people celebrate shots on target against Arsenal more than scoring against them. They defend well and they get goals. Liverpool that finished top last season scored 17 goals in the group phase. Now Arsenal has 17, there are still 2 more matches to go. All they just need is to continue with this momentum. But Pep put a jinx on them and said, by the festive period in the Premier League, we will know who will be top. Now City are just 2 points behind. Champions League, we know when the knockout phase comes. There's no second chances. There's no, oh, okay, maybe if we miss off with this one, we'll recover again. But for now, you can't take it away from them. They are the best team in Europe. They are top of the Champions League, the only team with 100% record. The one that was battling with them with Bayern was Bayern, and they defeated Bayern surprisingly. The first time in a long time Arsenal played Bayern without being the underdog. So good one for them. Whatever Arteta is cooking, I dislike Arsenal, but I hope they win something. Without the Premier League, at least win a trophy to seal the performance. Because at the end of the day, remember what Burna Boy said, that if there's no evidence, you go explain, tire. Nobody will believe you, because in the next 10 years, nobody will remember how you played. They will remember the things you won.
The trophies you won, right? Okay. Yeah, so Austin, I mean, time running out, we have to go. I know the discussion on Super Eagles will continue tomorrow. Yes. We'll break it down.
Yeah, we're going to put some real good perspective into that conversation. You know, Usman Mohammed is generating a lot of conversation online. He was part of the 2016 Rio Olympics team. He was skillful. He had ambition at the time. We're expecting that Coach General was going to bring him in the team.
How many games did he play at the Olympics?
He didn't. No, it was good. Remember that friendly we played with Atletico Madrid that he scored that beautiful goal that got everybody.
Austin, how many games did he play in Rio 2016?
Cecilia, he played games at the Rio Olympics. Let's just leave it like that. He is now in the team. We don't have a choice. We just have to support the team. Look, because people are beginning to make it look like he's not a professional footballer.
The director is chasing us out of the studio, Austin.
I'm just saying, let us support the team. That's the show in London. I'm Austin Okonakpan. In everything you do, remember, keep talking sports. Bye for now.
Yeah, no worries. We'll continue conversation tomorrow. You guys want to hear, right? Bolu, thank you so much for coming on the show.
Yeah, absolutely, Aaron. I leave you people to settle Uzoho and the likes for Super Eagles. It's been an exciting show today.
Yeah, we're winning the AFCON, yes. Something to show, right? Thank you so much for watching. I'm Cecilia Mogbe. Have a good night, rest.